Welcome to our new video on the history of Iran. If you have watched our video on how Persia was founded, you will probably find this video much easier to understand. We will begin by teaching you about the Mongol conquest and rule of Iran. At this time, the Mongol leader Genghis Khan had reunited all different groups of the Mongol steppe. He therefore led a world power that dwarfed the military strength of other empires. At the time, Iran was ruled by the Khurramian Empire, which Ala ad-Din Muhammad controlled. Genghis Khan, having noticed this empire, sent 2 diplomatic envoys. These envoys, however, were massacred. Genghis Khan quickly began an attack on Iran, hiring Chinese soldiers to launch bombs full of gunpowder using turbochets. During the Mongol invasion of Iran, many cities were pillaged and burnt. However, eventually the Mongol invaders began to accept Iranian culture and even convert to Islam. After Genghis Khan died, Iran was ruled by several Mongol commanders. Eventually, Genghis Khan's grandson, Hulagu Khan, came into power and established the Ilkhanate. During the rule of the Ilkhanate, the Black Death, caused by the bacterium Yersinia pestis, killed 30% of Iran's population. After the Ilkhanate fell, Iran was divided in 2, and the Timurid Empire took power, led by Timur. He was very brutal on his 1381 invasion of Iran. Many people were slaughtered and cities were destroyed. He promoted poetry and architecture despite most of his reign being quite ferocious. After the Timurid Empire, the Safavid dynasty came into power. The Safavid dynasty was founded and ruled by Ismail, whose self-proclaimed title was Shizmili. Ismail expanded Iran territorially and proclaimed Shizma to be Iran's official religion. After Ismail died, Tahmasp I, Ismail's son and successor, took power. He also expanded Iran's territory. During his reign, he carried out multiple invasions of the Caucasus, which had been incorporated into Iranian society since Shah Ismail I. He also intended to reduce the power of the Kilbash, who were any member of the 7 Turkmen tribes who supported the Safavid dynasty in Iran. He and his successors deported nearly 700,000 people. By causing these deportations, he created a new era in Iranian society. Shah Abbas the Great came to power in the year 1587 at the age of 16. Abbas I first fought the Uzbeks, recapturing Herat and Mashhad in 1598, which had been lost by his predecessor Muhammad Khatabanda during the Ottoman, Safavid War. Then he turned against the Ottomans, the arch-rivals of the Safavids, recapturing Baghdad, eastern Iraq, and the Caucasian provinces and beyond by the year 1618. Between 1616 and 1618, following the disobedience of his most loyal Georgian subjects Timur I and Lur Sabi, Abbas carried out a punitive campaign in his territories of Georgia, destroying Kakheti and Tbilisi and leaving with 130,000 slaves. After the Safavid dynasty, Nadir Shah came into power. Nadir Shah and his successors defeated and banished the Afghans, defeated the Ottomans, reinstalled the Safavids on the throne, and negotiated Russia's withdrawal from Iran's Caucasian territories. By 1736, Nadir was so powerful he reclaimed the throne and deposed the Safavids. Before the end of his reign, he was able to control Iran at the height of its power, when it was one of the greatest empires in the world. However, before the end of his reign, his army was crushed and he had been forced to flee into the mountains. Later, as he grew increasingly hungry for power, he died when he was assassinated by his own guards. After the fall of Nadir Shah and his successors, the Qajar dynasty took power, led by Aga Mohammad Khan. He had taken power during a civil war which had emerged during the short period of anarchy following the fall of the last government. The most well-known part of his reign was he practically united the different factions in Iran. Aga Mohammad Khan reintegrated Georgia as part of Iran. Aga Mohammad Khan also demanded the Heraclius II of Georgia renounce its 1783 treaty with Russia and submit to Persian sovereignty. He was later assassinated while preparing for an expedition to Georgia. During the Qajar dynasty, a famine of disease and drought erupted where between 2 to 4 million people died. This have hastened its fall. After the Qajar dynasty came the Pahlavi dynasty, led by Reza Shah. His rule set about an empire of law and order, a great change compared to the past empire. The Islamic Republic of Iran came into power after a revolution known as the 1979 Iranian Revolution. An early incident was the Iran hostage crisis, which saw American students held hostage in an embassy until Carter released them in 1981. The rule of the Islamic Republic of Iran lasted into contemporary times. Iran relations with the United States were very hostile, especially during the hostage crisis. Iran actually sanctioned 52 American officials. Currently, Iran's people are protesting against its current government. During the rule of the Islamic Republic, Iraq was at war with Iran. Thank you for watching our video on the history of Iran. We hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe.